Friends viewers loved Rachel Green from the very beginning. But what if the woman whose laugh is now ubiquitous and whose style is well known has been hiding a horrible secret for decades? She had a terrible upbringing. Her mother was a model, and she was always harsh and judgmental. Because of the deep traumas she had received, she cut off all communication with her mother for 15 years. Another issue that everyone worries about is if Brad Pitt really was the monster that the media made him out to be. Why were her fairy tale marriages doomed to fail? Plus, the one issue that has vexed her for quite some time: why was it so difficult for her to have a family? You will learn Jennifer Aniston's secret identity. Despite Jennifer Aniston's current status as a Hollywood star, her childhood was everything but. She was born in California in 1969 to Greek parents. Her most exciting experiences were relocating to the heart of New York City and seeing her dad get a job on a big soap opera. While Jennifer loved the excitement of city life, she longed for the tranquility of her birthplace. It was her fault that her parents started fighting. After failing in her efforts to make other people laugh with her ridiculous antics, she realized that acting was her true calling. Nevertheless, not every problem could be solved with comedy. Her parents divorced when she was 9 years old, and her dad was gone for a time. In the midst of her ordeal, the child started to question if there could really be a happily ever after. Things became much more complicated when her relationship with her mom, Nancy, becomes strained. Jennifer felt that she was never going to measure up because of Nancy's strict standards for physical attractiveness. Everyone she encountered appeared to be urging her to improve her self-care routine or apply makeup. That kind of criticism may be really painful. The passage of time did not prevent Jennifer Aniston from comprehending her mom's perspective. Being a single mother isn't easy. She's always on the road and worried about supporting her children. A subtle feeling told Jennifer that the person critiquing her looks was really trying to be kind. According to Jennifer, "My mom wasn't intending to be cruel. It was simply her upbringing." As a child, Jennifer would sometimes visit her dad in Los Angeles. He was the main character on Days of Our Lives. The fact that both of her parents were actresses may have sparked an interest in performing in her, but those westward travels may have been the real spark. Her academic performance suffered. The fact that she was despised by an underground group of teachers was something she trivialized. Fortunately, there was art class. One of her pieces is currently on permanent display at a prestigious museum. She made up for her mediocre grades with her captivating personality and natural stage presence. When Jennifer was 11 years old, she joined the school's theater club. The legendary Laurence Olivier was a spellbinding performer for her back then. She kept daydreaming about him and the potential prospect of collaborating with him. His death saddened Jennifer. At the age of 13, however, Jennifer's life took an unexpected turn when her father secured a modest part for her on his soap opera. The excitement of being repositioned on set more than compensated for my little stint as an extra. During their drive home that day, Jennifer's dad confided in her about something little. It turns out that the only reason she had ever been seen on camera was due to another extra knocking her off the set. Unfortunately, Jennifer's modest celebrity had come at the expense of another person, and she felt ashamed of this fact. At that point, Jennifer learned the hard way that success in the entertainment world is not given to the faint of heart. After graduating from Manhattan's prestigious LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts, she dove headfirst into the entertainment industry. Upon hearing the news, her father became worried. He wanted to save Jennifer the heartache of rejection, since he had seen the ups and downs of the profession firsthand. But Jennifer couldn't have been happier at finally being able to move out of her parents' home. She was ready for a fresh start following a difficult relationship with her mom, Nancy. Jennifer was determined to forge her own way in the world, unconcerned that her relationship with her mom might get even more bitter with time. Jennifer Aniston first appeared on stage in 1988 at New York City's Public Theater. A simple moment including sitting, gazing at the audience, and uttering a single sentence was etched into her memory from a specific performance. She looked over at the crowd one night and saw that she was making a star out of Al Pacino thanks to that expression, which never failed to make people laugh. With Diane Keaton at his side, Jennifer had an unforgettable once-in-a-lifetime event. For a long time, that sensation, the possibility of making someone like Al Pacino laugh, inspired her to follow her dreams. Because performing in theater wasn't bringing in enough money, Jennifer had to work hard, like a lot of other young performers. Serving in the Jackson Hole restaurant, she also had to manage auditions and many shifts. It wasn't until she became 20 that she found out she had dyslexia. Reading and writing were very difficult for those with this common learning disability, news that might change your life forever. She had been convinced for a long time that she lacked intelligence, and now it all made sense. A weight had been lifted, it seemed. Jennifer isn't alone. Even Keanu Reeves and other Hollywood A-listers have dyslexia. She felt embarrassed that her name was omitted from the credits for her first film since her role was so little. Mac and Me may have been a science fiction adventure picture, but it paved the way for greater things to come. The next year, Jennifer started supporting Nutrisystem and made an appearance on Howard Stern's program. Because there weren't many acting gigs in New York, she left for Los Angeles after 2 years. She co-created many unsuccessful sitcoms in 1989, including Malloy and Ferris Bueller. Leprechaun, a 1993 horror film, was Jennifer's big break following her role in the TV drama Camp Cucamonga. Despite receiving positive reviews, the picture ended up becoming a cult classic. After Leprechaun, casting directors started to pay greater attention to Jennifer. She had a few more appearances on television before the role that would change her career in an irrevocable way came. Jennifer Aniston knew she wanted to portray Rachel in Friends the moment she read the script because the character struck a chord with her. Monica Geller was Jennifer's original role. Meanwhile, Courtney's emotions for Monica had become intense. It was a stroke of luck. But getting Rachel wasn't exactly a picnic either. Even though Jennifer was already starring in the CBS comedy Muddling Through, the show was underachieving when this occurred. She begged the NBC execs to cast her on Friends, knowing full well that it would be a huge hit. The producers took a chance on Jennifer when she recorded the pilot episode while still balancing her responsibilities on the other show. Then, in an unfortunate coincidence, NBC aired a film starring Danielle Steele alongside Muddling Through. After Friends' ratings crashed, Jennifer was able to give her whole attention to the program. The stars of Friends may not all feel the same way about the opening scene, no matter how much fans enjoy it. Right before Las Vegas, things really got out of hand. A little getaway for the 6 main actors in Las Vegas was planned by the show's director, Jimmy Burrows. His advice, albeit rather paternalistic, was to enjoy the here and now since their lives were going to undergo tremendous transformations. He even gave them $500 to spend, serving as a subtle reminder that this was their last chance to explore the casino on their own. Prior to their incredible ascent to fame, they had a Last Supper at Caesar's Palace. I believe what Jimmy Burrows says. The first season of Friends premiered in 1994 and became an instant sensation. Viewers were immediately captivated by the idea, which involves following the everyday lives of 6 kids living in New York City. It was no secret that the actors playing that iconic band shot to stardom. The first year, we dominated the ratings because of replays. As Jennifer recollects, she was out and about collecting tampons and toilet paper when a group of ardent fans approached her to ask for her autograph. A whole new age has started. In spite of Jennifer's disapproval, the layered hairdo that Rachel Green pioneered was adopted by many women throughout the world. It seems that her hairstylist was far from an expert. It wasn't always a bed of roses to suddenly become renowned. Photographers and adoring admirers followed the young stars wherever they went, fixated on their every move. Even after all these years of being on the show, Jennifer was still astounded by the sheer scale of Friends' fame. I came from a long line of actors, yet I was nonetheless shocked by the show's success. She says it out loud. Her mom, Nancy, was her rock and the reason she was able to stay sane. Despite being the center of attention, Jennifer never lost her composure. After seeing her mother behave so bitterly and resentfully, she vowed to herself that she would not do the same. The bond she had with Nancy unfortunately faded with the passing of time. When Nancy gave a very candid and unfavorable interview to a tabloid show in 1996, things had really spiraled out of control. She revealed various intimate details regarding throughout Jennifer's life. Release of Nancy's book, From Mother and Daughter to Friends. A book was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because the grief of that betrayal was too tremendous, Jennifer and her mom didn't talk for 15 years. Friends, let's get back to it now. The show's remarkable success was due to its excellent formula, which included a relatable concept, great writers, and a stellar ensemble cast of actors. David Schwimmer recalls a certain intensity that persisted from the first dress rehearsal forward. Finding a quartet of 6 performers with such captivating chemistry and the ability to fully embrace their roles is quite remarkable. The writers made it possible for the performers to fully inhabit their parts and even provide recommendations for the screenplay, which led to some of the show's most touching and funny scenes. While filming, the lines between reality and fiction blur. The actors really became friends outside of the performance. Lisa Kudrow said that the director Jimmy recommended they use his dressing area for their first season of hanging out on the program. The program's success hinged on their capacity to establish an immediate bond of friendship. As a group, they enjoyed playing poker, dining, and lounging. Feeling supported and having a place to go to amid the chaos of instant fame was incredible. When the actors decided to collaborate on the project, they essentially established a union. They wanted equal compensation for all 6 companions during contract discussions, even though their wages were originally different. After the 5th season, they were each pocketing $100,000 every episode. That figure soared to a mind-boggling $1 million each episode by the last season. The Guinness Book of Records has recognized Courtney Cox, Jennifer, and Lisa Kudrow as the highest-paid television actresses of all time as a result of this ruling. The role that Jennifer played in Friends was well received by critics and fans alike. She won the Screen Actors Guild Award in 2002 and has several Emmy nominations and victories under her belt. A Golden Globe was also bestowed to her in 2003. It is amusing to see how the lines between real life and the theater sometimes blur. Can you remember the scene where Joey purchased that enormous dog statue? It was Jennifer's rightful domain. It was a fortunate charm that a friend had given her before filming Friends began. In terms of serendipitous meetings, Jennifer met actor Tate Donovan while filming season 4 of the show. Even though their on-screen romance was brief, it garnered real-life attention. For many, Jennifer's first true love was Tate, with whom she was in a committed relationship from. Despite rumors of an engagement, the couple decided to terminate their relationship since wedding preparations never materialized. Despite her busy Friends schedule, Jennifer still found time to see a few movies. Some of them lost in the end, unfortunately. Her performance in the 1996 film She's the One earned her a Golden Raspberry nomination for Worst New Star. Her success on Friends led to comedy roles, such as Dream for an Insomniac and There Was You. Her breakthrough role was in the 1997 romantic comedy Picture Perfect, which was not a comedy. Although reviewers had mixed feelings about the film overall, they all agreed that Jennifer's performance was outstanding. Another dramatic love comedy that was out at the same time, The Object of My Affection, also failed. The two started dating when Jennifer was working together with Paul Rudd. Despite the brief affair, they became close friends and even worked together in the end. Paul was one of Friends, and the two of them worked together on Wanderlust, 2012. Both Jennifer's professional and personal lives were moving at a dizzying pace. She went on a date with Brad Pitt in 1998, who her agency had set up. From that point on, their relationship would be closely followed by the public eye. When Jennifer and Brad crossed paths in the early 90s, they were both in committed relationships and didn't seem interested in one another. Not until they crossed paths again on a blind date a few years down the road did the sparks ignite. They moved quickly, but it took a year before they admitted they were dating. Their official coupling debut was at the 1999 Emmys. Brad made Jennifer's engagement ring himself, and the public got a glimpse of it a few months later when they were seen enjoying themselves at a Sting concert. Brad used interviews to gush over Jennifer, calling her the perfect spouse. He had no doubt that theirs was the perfect Hollywood romance, since they were one of the industry's most famous and glamorous power couples. Brad, who is married to Jennifer, and Brad established their production company, Plan B Entertainment, in 2002. In an effort to prove that they were serious filmmakers and not just actors with a glossy side business, Jennifer revealed that at first they intended to keep the company's existence a secret. By 2004, the studio was doing well because to productions like Troy and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Jennifer and Brad, the sexiest couple in Hollywood, joked about arguing over who was the hottest. All they were, they said, was a pair of dweebs who would rather be photographed in their jammies than all dolled up. Rumor has it that they spent $1 million on their lavish wedding at a Malibu house on July 29, 2000. Despite the substantial investment, surprisingly few photographs of the actual event were taken. Guests will always remember the 50,000 flowers and the spectacular $20,000 fireworks display that accompanied the celebration. In their light-hearted and informal wedding vows, Jennifer vowed to stock up on Brad's favorite banana smoothie whenever he wanted one, while Brad swore to master the thermostat. Jennifer refrained from inviting her mom to the wedding in an effort to keep the peace in the family. Before moving into their luxurious Beverly Hills home, the newlyweds had a picture-perfect honeymoon in the Seychelles. When Jennifer brought up the fact that he was a major modernist and she was not, she poked fun at their clashing tastes in home decor. Even more amusing was Brad's 2001 cameo appearance on Friends, in which he played a guy who hated Rachel Green. Jennifer knew deep down that the magic of Friends wouldn't last forever. She wanted to go while their fans were still raving about them before Rachel turned into a sad version of herself. She was also eager to take on more responsibilities. Jennifer sealed the deal when the producers of the program agreed to cut the last season short. The May 2004 episode of Friends was a mixed bag for the show's millions of fans. With more than 52 million people, it was among the most viewed television events in the last several years. As they salvaged a piece of the fake pavement outside Central Perk, every member of the ensemble brought home a little piece of television history. Years later, while discussing the special bond between the actors, Jennifer choked back tears. "Our affection and encouragement for one another was authentic," she reflected. Many others told her they had depended on her friends while they were sick or in need. The show's mild charm soothed my spirit. She theorized that the fact that people were able to sit down and talk without interruptions, like phones, may have contributed to the event's long-lasting effect. Jennifer Aniston's life seemed like a Hollywood dream to the ordinary person due to her fame, wealth, and starring parts in famous comedies. Nevertheless, underneath her beautiful smile and dazzling red carpet demeanor was a deep and abiding anguish in her soul. She was increasingly distancing herself from motherhood, the role she had always envisioned for herself. Nothing improved with all the muttering and staring. On every tabloid cover, you could see fictitious pregnancy bumps. She feels the sting of a new wound from the reporters' well-meaning questions about her hopes for a future family. In 2016, Jennifer worked up the nerve to speak up. A passionate plea for privacy, for the record, was also a scathing condemnation of the relentless evaluation and observation that women face. "The way I am portrayed by the media is simply a reflection of how we see and portray women in general," she wrote, her words filled with profound passion and empathy. Years later, in a devastating interview with Allure magazine, Jennifer discussed an even more horrific aspect of her experience. It was awful that she had to keep quiet about the baby rumors and constant conjecture, even though she did all she could to have a family. Herbal medicines and in vitro fertilization, IVF, both failed to produce any results. She said, "It was really hard," yet her expression betrayed the sadness in her heart. I would have given anything if someone had told me, "Freeze your eggs, do yourself a favor. You just don't think it." Jennifer's voice has a composed resolution through her anguish. She will remain undefined by this singular absence. Emotionally, intellectually, and experientially, she is complete. Her bravery in sharing her story gives hope to those ladies going through tough times. Maybe they can find solace in knowing they are not alone.